So we want to load them when we first load the page, right? Get them out of local storage. Because they're in local storage now, but as soon as I refresh, they're gone again. They're still there. They're still in local storage. But as soon as I start adding new items, then I'll get the new items. Right? And all the old ones are gone. So I want them to show on the page when we load it. So without knowing how we actually do this yet, pretty likely that we'll want to do it in the constructor. So I'll just say load, this.load. I don't know what it does yet, but I know I'm going to want to do that. So let's write it. Load. So we're going to need to read them from local storage, right? So read the JSON from local storage. So that is local storage.getItem spells. We know that's going to be JSON, right? So const spell JSON. Convert the JSON back into an array. So JSON.parse our spell JSON. So const spell array equals JSON.parse spell JSON. Seem legit? So then what do we want to do? All that stuff we've been doing. Most of the stuff that handle submit does. So what does handle submit do? Not handle submit itself, but so it prevents default. That has to do with actually handling submit. It gets stuff from the form and builds this spell. That has to do with handling submit. Everything else is, and then here's some stuff related to the form again. Seems like everything may be between here and here. Like that's actually the action of adding a spell. Pushing it onto the array, creating a list item, and appending the list item to the list. Those 3 lines are how you actually add a spell. Those are the things we want to do, whether it came from the form or it came from local storage. Let's add another function called addSpell that takes, I think, the spell as an argument. Let's have it do these 3 things. And then let's just call it from inside here. This.addSpell spell. This makes handle submit a bit purer. So as long as you pass a spell into that, it'll push it onto the array, it'll build a list item out of it, and it'll append it to the page. So in load, I've read all the things from local storage. So it seems like I could loop over that and just call add spell on each one of them. Seem legit? Load the spells back into the app. Yeah. So I have spell array here. How about spell array dot, well, map or for each. For each should be fine. So our callback takes each spell as an argument, and then we can do whatever we want with it. And I think what we want to do is this dot add spell, passing in the spell. And this will work fine because this function here is an arrow function. So notice something here. This already takes spell as its argument, and so does this. So it seems like we could just say for each this dot add spell. It's already a function that could take each item from the array and build something out of it. Because all I was doing in that arrow function was taking the argument that was passed to me and passing it to another function. Now, because this is being called from in for each, though, this isn't going to be the right thing, so I probably do need to do bind this. But if you have a function that you want to call on everything in an array, you just call for each and pass that function in there. This dot add spell is what we want to do to each one. Let's see what happens. So we've got ZXCVB. Refresh. ZXCVB. Let's check out app.spells. Seems to work. Let's favorite a couple of them. Let's delete one. Let's refresh the page. So looking at our array, the correct ones are marked as favorited, but the class thing doesn't happen automatically. That's all right. We can deal with that. So it just seems like when we first render the list item, we need to check what the current value of favorite is and mark it appropriately. So we replace the appropriate values in each span. Mark it as a favorite, if applicable. So like if spell dot favorite item dot class list dot add what is it? FAV, right? Yeah, whereas I don't even know where that method is anymore. I think it's FAV. Yep. Move it up, refresh, still works. Move it down, refresh, still works. Delete it, refresh, still works. Mark another favorite, refresh, still works. Everything works. Load spells from local storage. So now they're persisted across page refreshes. And yes, this will work on GitHub pages as well. Now it'll use a different list because it's a different website, but they will be persisted across page loads still. Cool?